Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door. The game I was really finding a challenge for due to a lot of them already done. This game is already diabolical when playing normally, but what if we took it up a notch? This is the Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door Pacifist Challenge. Now, I will use the time as the intro cutscene plays out to talk about the rules for this challenge and exactly what it means to play this game as a pacifist. If you've been following my channel for a long time, you know that I determine pacifism in video games as incrementing the counter on screen by 1 for every time an enemy dies, including bosses. For this game, we're going to be doing something a bit different. For this challenge, we will be attempting to beat the game while completing as few battles as possible. I will be also getting every partner character, which means that I will be doing one trouble sender to get Miss Mouse recruited. She will be very useful for the second half of the game, as well as for finding star pieces. They aren't required for anything since this is not a 100% run, but we could find star pieces to purchase badges like Peekaboo, which allows us to see enemy health, making it less gambling worthy to beat bosses. An unavoidable battle is any battle that we are not allowed to run away from and presents the "can't flee this fight" message. A few of these battles are actually optional and only triggered if, for example, I mess up the puzzle on Keelhaul Key and have to fight ghosts without being allowed to run away. If we do end up in a battle that is optional and doesn't allow us to run away, I will have to reset for my last save point. I will make sure to hit save blocks frequently, so that I don't lose any of my progress. There are various battles in the game that are required to be entered, such as the 2 unwinnable fights with Dupliss. These do count since they are part of the sequence to finish Chapter 4, so they will still increment the counter even though we run away. The next thing that needs to be analyzed is the Bowser levels. Bowser levels are platformer levels that are unskippable, and are played during a few Bowser intermissions in between chapters. For the purposes of this challenge, any enemies that cannot be avoided will increment the counter since it is still a defeated enemy. Speaking of which, the last thing to cover is our definition of a defeated enemy. I don't mean every enemy in a single battle. No. Like I said, the way this challenge will be structured defines defeated enemies based on the number of battles we successfully complete without running away. The final score will be the sum of every chapter's score. I did consider putting the prologue and chapter 1 into the same video, but it took me way too long to finish the prologue and I didn't have the patience to complete chapter 1. So we will just be completing the prologue in this video. The premise of this video is going to be 90% text mashing and the other 10% will be progressing through all the battles that are required to get the Petal Meadows pipe and getting badges to queue up for chapter 1, which will be the Nostalgic Tunes and Simplifier badges. Nostalgic Tunes is simply purchased because I wanted to keep it just for fun, and the Simplifier will help with my action commands. I do also plan on getting the Unsimplifier as well, which is the exact opposite badge, but I can use it to gain more star power if I need to use attacks that cost more SP, such as Earth Tremor and Art Attack. Now that we're gaining control of Mario and Rogueport, we're gonna go right ahead and enter our first required battle against Lord Crump to meet our first partner character, Goombella. There is no way to skip this since we have to save Goombella. This battle is simply a tutorial so we get through it no problem and can make it to Rogueport Central. We finally get to Rogueport Central, and our next priority is purchasing some items in the shop. We can't buy badges just yet, so we'll be skipping them for now. When the shop opens after Professor Frankly gives us a Power Smash badge, we'll go to the shop and trade it for the Simplifier. For now, we recruit Goombella as our new partner and make our way to Professor Frankly. Once Professor Frankly opens the way to the Rogueport sewers pipe, he will ask us if we want to train ourselves in action commands. Since I've already had over 20 hours of my time sucked away into this game, this is not necessary. I also consider this a battle, so it is not allowed. I am aware of a trick that still exists in the Switch version of this game called Goomba Trio Skip, as I'm attempting right now, where we get into the pipe without fighting the Goomba Trio that shows up a few seconds after the fenced-in pipe. Try as I might, I couldn't reach the pipe without needing to go all the way around, so I will be marking this as a required battle for now. No, the glitch was not patched, I just have not been able to execute it, even after a few minutes of practice. Anyways, the Goomba Trio goes down with a little effort, and we make our way to the chest containing the plane curse and get to the 1,000-year door. Before we're able to go back into the Rogueport sewers, Frankly will offer to teach us about special moves. It is just like the Action Commands training, so we are skipping it and getting our first badge, Power Smash. To be able to gain more coins, we will be selling this badge in the shop and buying the Simplifier. However, due to being short 1 coin after selling the Power Smash, I had to sell one of my mushrooms to get the 70 coins and buy the Simplifier. All that's left to do is make our way back to Rogueport Sewers and head for the Chapter 1 pipe. Since we now have the plane curse, we can go ahead and go through the door to the right. There is one more glitch that I know about called Hazard Respawn Glitch that would allow us to skip the big blooper fight and go directly to Chapter 1, but as of the time this video is uploaded, I do not know if it exists on the Switch version. Be sure to let me know in the comments if it's patched or not. For now, our third and final required battle for the prologue is going to be Big Blooper. With the aid of our fire flowers, he goes down and we can get access to the pipe to Chapter 1. Now that Big Blooper has been defeated, I go back to the save block by the pipe we came in from, as save blocks are where we enter the level from. Progress has been saved, so this first part of our journey can come to a close. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe so as not to miss out on more content like this. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll catch you on the flip side. Peace.